Doubters are in for it. That's all I know. Come on, bro. Wipe it up. Wipe it up. Wipe it up. My God. Bro. She was in the wall. What are these little cities? And that's what happens when I lock in. Just so that way y'all know. Ooh. Ooh, this is some... These are some dick suckers. What the fuck? What the fuck? Magenta attacks cannot be dashed through without tanking damage. I mean, yeah, that shit's fucking easy. You think I'm a retard or something? I guess so. Oh, come on, bro. Fucking hell. Run, run, run! I have to fight them. Alright, man. Chill. Boom! Cinema. Pure fucking cinema. There it is. What? So what now? Give it a rating so far? I guess review it? I guess I can do that. So, where should I begin? I really enjoy this game. Yeah, I guess I'll just start off like this. I really enjoy this game. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of went into this game with an open mind, and I didn't realize that starting this game, it was an actual linear experience. I was going into it thinking it was some type of like a roguelike, you know, something of that nature. I did not realize that it had an actual story experience behind it. Now, granted, a lot of it's more than likely, you know, tied between the books that you scan throughout the world. But from what I could gather, it was cool, right? I really don't know much about it, but just seeing the little orbits getting through the world and everything like that, it was all really cool. I liked it a lot. I'm into that kind of shit as it comes to like, when it comes to certain things like religious history, things of that nature. I liked how it incorporated a bunch of mythologies into the game as well. I always thought it was really cool. And throughout the story, I really thought that all the worlds were designed in a way to where you could skip through a lot of it, but at the same time, you can take your time and kind of sort of sightsee. The little intricate details from the very beginning when you would, you know, break through a board or kind of slide underneath inside of a grate, leading up into the, let me go see. Yeah. Leading up into Act 2. This level was really cool, especially when you got into the third layer. I really enjoyed the details that they took when you were going into the belly of the beast and they had like the eyeballs and they would actually follow you around. I enjoyed how how they used the lighting as well. I think that was the biggest thing about this game in terms of like the horror aspect, is the way that they utilize lighting in a lot of the things. I really do think that if the developers didn't actually take their time to tune in the lighting on these worlds, it wouldn't have hit as hard, frankly. But the way that they incorporated lighting in you know, their boss fights, going into the world, kind of exploring, I thought it was very, very, very neat. Each world really did, longest time, shut the fuck up. Each world actually felt unique in its own way. Especially when you started to get into Limbo. It really took me by surprise as to how they kind of tried to make this like warming, welcoming stage, but I also really liked how they gave it into detail that it was all fake by utilizing these screens. I thought that was incredibly unique. And the biggest thing that this game has as well with carrying the atmosphere and the aesthetic is the music. The music was fucking bangers. Every soundtrack hit, especially coming from Doom. You know, I gave a review on Doom Eternal on my YouTube channel, and one of my biggest gripes with the game itself is Doom felt incredibly empty due to the fact that the music did not hit the same as the earlier entries. Without having your boy, and I forgot his name, Mick Gordon. Without having Mick Gordon write the tunes for Doom Eternal or Doom the Dark Ages, really, really, really held that game back a lot. A lot. Other than that, the game was phenomenal, but yeah, without Mick Gordon, that game was kind of a snooze fest. Literally, you get into a stage and it was fucking pitch quiet. I could literally hear my dog walking around my house with how quiet that game was, which it shouldn't be. Especially coming from Eternal. Oh my god. Music should have been fucking banging, but it wasn't. The intricate details that this game too I appreciated a lot was the sound design. Obviously, you played as a robot, right? But hearing the gears whirring as you would move, such as jump, crash down, punch, slide, I thought that was very, very, very impressive. The mechanics of the game, honestly, it might be somewhat of a hot take to my ultra killers in chat, but how can I say without sound like a fucking dork? For a newcomer coming into a game like this, if you were not versed in boomer shooters such as Doom, Unreal, Quake, if you are not well versed in those style of games, I really do feel like that this game has a incredibly high barrier of entries to FPS. Strictly because there's a lot of high tech in this game that even, and I'm not gonna call myself like, you know, an FPS expert, but I've been playing FPS a long time, and even then I was getting very, very, very tripped up with the amount of tech that this game has. So I really do feel like that this game has a very low barrier of entry, and a lot of it has to do with the inputs. The game has a lot of buttons to press. A lot of buttons to press. And I think with the fact that the game does have a lot of buttons to press, it can very well deter a lot of people as they get into the later stages, because you have so much shit to worry about. You have jumping, you have dodging, you have parrying. You have obviously the shooting, but then the shooting, you also have 3 variations of the weapons you can use. Now, whether you want to use all 3 across all 5 weapons, you can. But you have all the variations of weapons, and then you have the second layer of tech, such as being able to shoot one of the grenades out of a shotgun, parrying it. Shotgun parries. You have the rocket launcher where you can bump them up, hit them in midair. You have a lot of things to think about in such a fast-paced game, and I can definitely see how that can deter a lot of new players from playing a game like this. Obviously not to say that it's bad, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this game, so. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of mechanics that I didn't even recognize even in a game. So, yeah. But other than that, I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait to see what else they do. Maybe I'll do another review after they've finished Act 3 here, but yeah, the game was sick. 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10, for sure. And I've said this before, the reason why I give it 9.5 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 is because I wish it was either an accessibility option or something of nature where they can mess with an input or whatever. I wish that there was a double jump instead of a long high jump. Yeah, other than that, game was sick. I loved it. I can't wait to see what else comes out of it. And yeah.